Cold made his hands freeze. He began to convince himself that if he did not starve for a few days, he would not run away and be defeated. But suddenly he saw very many dead snow bears, and he wondered why he had not encountered a single ice bear after entering the forest here was the reason for all this. I couldn't believe these guys could destroy them, but they wouldn't have had enough, and he began to think that it probably wasn't that second group, but Haki's monster, and they had to be around here somewhere. He decided he needed to get out of the woods faster. But in the meantime, things were heating up outside, and two strong hunters started fighting. The head of the white tiger began to transform into a horrible monster that lurked within him. And Hang Donggu was gathering enormous power at his fingertips. They decided to fight right here and defeat everything in their path. Suddenly there was a flash, and from that, a wave rolled in. Lifting all the dust and rocks into the air wave began to sweep away everything in its path, and the boys standing nearby couldn't look at it calmly. To them, it was a terrifying force. However, once the smoke cleared, Wang Donggu smiled, for what he saw looked good. The inspector was able to stop them both. He was between their hands, but he soon realized that had they both not reduced their strength in time, his arms would have been broken, and he began to say that he was the first to suspect Jin Wu at his birth. And yet after being checked by the highest-ranking magical power detector 2 months ago, he was still ranked lower. It was no luck that Hunter Hang Dongsik was dead. But Jinu does not possess such destructive attacking power. Hang Dong-su knew that if they prepared a trap, the culprit was probably Yu Zhang Company. The inspector replied to him that then there was no reason to obsess over Zhan Wu the hunter, and that was an excuse to just kill another man. At this point, he lost his Z and decided he would just go to sleep. The subordinate head of the White Tiger knew Jean was abilities better than anyone, and she was sure he would definitely come back alive at the time we were all sitting around the fire, warmed by him. Suddenly, we saw the captain begin to come out of the woods. He looked at us and couldn't understand, asking himself, why are all these low-ranking hunters still alive? He saw warm clothes, a blanket in the tent, and various gadgets. They even had food. If his hands weren't cold and he had a full stomach, he could easily beat Hayaki. Suddenly he became angry because he saw that they had prepared all these supplies and kept them only for themselves. He started yelling at them that they were scoundrels, but we couldn't figure out how he ended up with us and how we had all this stuff in the tent. The captain kept talking and asking why they weren't responding to what he was saying. He didn't think they were all accomplices. He asked who had all those supplies and promised to let them go if they named the culprit. After all, he was talking about the one who hid the supplies and betrayed his comrades, leaving them to die. Then he began to count to 3. If they did not give up the traitor, he would count them all as accomplice. And so the captain began the countdown. 1, 2, he drew his sword, and suddenly he saw that girl decided to leave because she had some plan. And apparently she doubted her ability to survive. She was trying to cut back on the number of people to keep supplies flowing. He started screaming, accusing her of the crime, but suddenly my hand appeared from behind his head and hit him lightly. This blow sent him flying several meters away. Everyone rejoiced when they saw their captain. I began to tell him that he had actually left his comrades to die. Not to mention the fact that he came back with a dead look on his face. I realized there was someone near us, and when I turned around, I said to them, "How about you guys? Don't you want to cancel your invisibility? After all, combined with your powerful energy, it becomes useless." And suddenly they began to appear in front of us. I realized it was the boss. Yeah, there were at least 20 of them too. And this one who was sitting on a horse started saying that there was really one useful guy out there among the trash. But I was surprised at first, and then I asked him why did he call us trash just now, but suddenly the boss of the White Walkers asked how I knew their language. I was surprised too, because I didn't understand how I could understand their language. After all, I couldn't talk to monsters, but that was probably an effect of the system too. But the boss of the White Walkers was pleased and said that since I could communicate, there was someone he wanted to introduce, and another elf appeared beside him and said that we already knew each other, and he was the one who notified us that there was someone strong among humans, and this guy wanted to fight me. But suddenly, before he could finish speaking, that White Walker's head flew off to the side. I cut his head off in an instant, which made no one even realize how it happened. I turned to him and asked, "Is there anything else he can say?" But the White Walker boss turned his head toward me and started smiling weirdly, and all he said was that I was a funny guy.